Just starting my journey down the Missouri River, and nice current, sun's out, it's a beautiful day. Coming up on an abandoned railroad bridge over the river. Got a train coming up behind me. This is Toston Dam, which is my stopping point for the day. My first night camping, overlooking the Missouri River, moving really fast. There's Toston Dam. Beautiful night, or dusk. About ready to cook dinner. Starting out on my second day, just leaving the Toston campground where I slept last night. This section of the Missouri is moving really fast. So that's great. It's going to be a good day. Sun's out, I feel good. Good night's sleep. It's beautiful here. Had a good paddling day today, my second day on the river. Here's my campsite, which is at the Silos RV and Fishing Camp on the Canyon Ferry Lake Reservoir. I started at the campsite at Toston Dam, which was my first site, and headed down. I was going to Indian Roads Campground, but I missed the turn for that, so I continued on into the reservoir, which was really hard paddling because there's no current, and pulled into this Silos campground, which is really nice. There's my canoe parked there. Well, I'm cooking my pasta dinner at the Silo campground. Got a glass of wine there. And I'm going to sit down and eat pretty quick. Hello everyone, it's day 3 on the river. Actually, I'm in the lake right now. And last night I camped out at Silo's RV and Fish Camp, which is on the Canyon Ferry Lake Reservoir. Huge storm last night. I never heard wind like that and rain. And but I slept okay. Launched at 9:40. Unfortunately, Jim Emanuel, who's an accomplished paddler, and his friend Bill came down to my campsite, and they're paddling with me today down to the dam. They're straight ahead of me there. This is why they call it Big Sky Country. There's Jim and Bill and the puppy ahead of me. This is going to be my stopping point for the day. I'm going to camp here. It's been a long, hard day because we had headwinds all the way down the lake. And now the wind has really picked up, so I decided I'm going to make this a 2-day trip to the dam. Jim has dogs to take care of at home, so he's going to head home. They're going to go all the way to the dam. It's about another 10 miles. So I'm below Canyon Ferry Dam, just Put my boat in the water, filled it with all the gear. Jim and Bill brought me down here and portaged me to here. And looks like it's a nice day. And I got current there, which is good. But I'm told that it's will only be good for maybe 5 miles, but I'll take it. As soon as I start my journey from Canyon Ferry Dam down Hauser Lake, it starts to rain hard. So I'm on Hauser Lake, and so far so good. You can see the water is glassy still. There's no current, but it's glassy still, easy to paddle in. And it's just sprinkling a little bit, nothing to worry about. It's been a great day, good start for the day. This is really tough paddling on Hauser Lake. I think I'm near the dam, but boy, I got a northwest wind coming right at me. And when I stop paddling, like now, I start going backwards. Well, I'm here at Hauser Dam. It's about 4 o'clock, started at 10. And now we got a portage across the dam to my campsite below the dam on Holter Lake. Jim's got my canoe on wheels.
Got the wheels going.
We're ready to move. We're now crossing Hauser Dam with my canoe. And I've got my 2 Sherpas there hauling my gear for me.
Okay, here's where we throw it off the side.
Throw it over the side. Here's the other side of Hauser Dam. That's the kind of current I like to see. Okay, I'm launched from below Hauser Dam and I got a good current going here downstream. I'm gonna find a camp here about 1.5 miles down and camp out for tonight at 6 o'clock. Entering the gates of mountains from Upper Holter Lake. The public boat ramp just above Holter Dam where I pulled out. Maybe you'll be able to see my canoe there off by the docks. It's a really nice park. A lot of people out here for the Memorial Day weekend camping out and boating, and Trevor's on his way down to meet me here and pick up my canoe and move you down the other side of the dam. On the other side of Holter Dam, downstream, thanks to Trevor and Kendra who brought me down here. That's the downstream portion of the river that I'll be on today, and I plan to go all the way down to Craig and stop there. It's just beautiful day, beautiful country. Cannot believe how great this is. I just launched from the other side of Holter Dam thanks to help from Kendra and Trevor who brought my boat around to the other side of the dam. And this is the river. It's got good current. I'm not in a reservoir or a dam anymore where I have no current. I've got a nice current. It's going to take me right down to Craig, Montana, which is just a couple hours from here. I'm literally just sitting here floating, not rowing, not working, just floating down the river with a really nice current and beautiful views. I wish every day on the river could be like this day. Arrived at Craig. The boat launches right down there, and there's two. Craig is straight up that way. That's where I came from. It's been a really good day. Fished all day out of the canoe and didn't catch anything, but it was fun. Really good current, as you can see. Next stop is Cascades, about 10 miles downriver. This is my last video of the day at sundown in Cascade, Montana. Look how fast that river is running. It's a paddler's dream. And the nice thing is it doesn't get dark here until 10 o'clock at night. Right now it's after 9. I'm at my campsite about 25 miles from Great Falls, Montana. It's 5 o'clock. There's about 5 more hours of daylight. And you can see the current here is moving really well. I just hope it continues tomorrow for my paddle down to Great Falls, Montana. Campsite, and I woke up with some friends and neighbors. I wondered why there was poop everywhere. It's from these goats. They're not afraid of me though. And, I'm on their territory. Looks like there's even a donkey up there. They've become a real nuisance. Jumping on my tent, going inside my tent. Hey, out of there! Oh gosh. Kind of an interesting spot along a golf course. They've lined the river with junk cars. They look like really old ones. Arrived at Great Falls, Montana, which is where I need to portage around it. And as I pulled into Great Falls into the highway bridge, there's a sign, portage here, so that's good. So we've got my canoe going in the Grand Union Hotel. This has got to be a first.
You make it work. And you just stay there, and I'll just We're going through that door, so you probably don't want to go that way. Actually, so we want to.
I'm staying at the Grand Union Hotel in Fort Benton. This is Montana's oldest operating hotel. It was built in 1882, just celebrated its 140th anniversary. And it was built before Montana was even a state. It's a beautiful restored hotel, really quite pretty inside. And I'm back on the Missouri from Fort Benton. Tony and Colette saw me off. They own the hotel I stayed in, the Grand Union. Beautiful hotel. I got a nice current going here. I hope it lasts for a while. And it's a beautiful day. The sun's out, blue sky, all is good. This is my campsite at the Regelf Ferry. You can see the ferry across the river. Brings cars and people from that side of the river over to this side and vice versa. When I look at these rock formations, they remind me of ancient castles, cathedrals, and fortresses that were built into the mountain and are now deteriorating. And then behind me, if you look way up the hill there, you can see a walled city like you would see in Spain. Family of ducks out here, about 8 babies, 3 adults, and one in the back is barking at me, warning me, keep away. I'm headed for the James Kipp Recreation Area, about 13-14 miles up this way. Good weather today. The heaviest rain I've had the whole trip. And thunder. Good luck catching that paddlefish, Casey. Maybe you'll hook my canoe.
Yeah.
And I am staying at a luxury motel with a beautiful view of the Missouri River. There you see it right there. Just approaching Fort Peck Lake. 2-room hotel. There you see my bedroom. And the adjoining room to my bedroom is my sitting room and kitchen. Right there. It just doesn't get better than this. As I get further into Fort Peck Lake, the water gets a lot more roiled. I'm kind of hugging the shore. But when the wind picks up, those will be huge waves. Campsite on Fort Peck Lake. Cooking some spaghetti. It's been a beautiful day, but a hard day paddling. Look at the conditions now. It's all white caps. The wind is blowing really hard. I would not want to be out there. Or any vessel for that matter. My tent is struggling to stay in place. This is my campsite about 35 miles from Fort Peck Dam, which is my destination. I had to pull off here because of the heavy winds whitecaps, waves. There's no way you can navigate through this, so I just had a really hard time setting up my tent because of the wind. Peck Marina, which is the end of my journey on the Fort Peck Lake. So glad to see this. There's a restaurant up there. I'm dying to go there and get something to eat and drink. It's a really hard time on this lake, but I'm happy to be here. Fort Peck Hotel. It's a really nice old hotel built in 1934 when they built the Fort Peck Dam. It was built for the workers and engineers and other people associated with the construction of the Fort Peck Dam. Beautiful, beautiful hotel. Two days downstream from Fort Peck Dam. It's been a good couple of days with a good current. Put my campsite today up on a hill under a couple of trees to get the shade. And I'm overlooking the Missouri River. It's a good campsite. There's St. Louis Bill on the river. Well, he just got up with me, and we're gonna paddle together and share some stories. So this is our next campsite at the Bluffs. Beautiful location. It's June 25. We got on the water at about 6:49 a.m. Our earliest start so far. And this is shaping up to be my best day on the Missouri River so far. One cool looking bridge over the Missouri River. You can see they have these enormous counterweights. There's two of them. There's the other one that are used to raise and lower the bridge for boat traffic. This is the entrance to Tobacco Hills Resort. We were greeted by Peggy out on the dock. Peggy organized the nicest barbecue for us at Tobacco Garden Resort. Hamburgers and just wonderful. So nice of her, just a nice group. Beautiful place. Got a shower, we're new persons. We paddled about 12 miles downstream from Tobacco Gardens Resort. Set up camp here in this little bay. Made good progress today given the heavy winds and waves we encountered. But we did fine. This is what we were dealing with today on Lake Sac. Look at the wave action. As those waves hit the shoreline, they bounce back and it creates a kind of a washing machine effect when you're in a canoe. Waters Resort is really a nice resort, very well put together, and great place to relax after some tough days on the water. This is the direction I came from today, from Dakota Waters Resort, and to take some shelter from the wind and the waves, I pulled into this bay here. And set up my tent. I'm gonna spend the rest of the day here. Go out tomorrow when it's not so windy, but you can see my campsite up there. The hills behind it. It's 10 a.m. and I've just arrived at the marina near the Garrison Dam. Left at 6, so it took me 4 hours, and it was really nice paddling because the water was like glass. So glad I took that rest stop yesterday and didn't try to get all the way here. Downstream from Garrison Dam, I'm back on the river, headed for Bismarck. Should be there in about 3 days. Distance is 76 miles, and you can see I have a nice current. And boy, is that great after being tortured on that Lake Sac. It's what you dream about as a paddler. I'm 20 miles or so from Garrison Dam, headed downstream towards Bismarck, and now not only do I have a current, I've got a tailwind. Look at that, how fast that water is moving in my direction. So I'm on the pontoon boat, Marge, Isabel, and Harriet, and we're headed to Marge's house. Harriet's having a good time on the swing.
Have you tried it yet, Roger? Yeah.
This is Marge and Ryan's house with their 2 children, Harriet and Isabel. And this is the house that I'm staying in. I'm heading into Bismarck. I think I'm actually in Bismarck. It's across the river there. I've got to go under these 3. There's actually 4 bridges, I believe, that go under. And then it's another 7 miles down to Liz Luce's house, where I'll stay tonight and tomorrow night. Nice current. I paddled about 16 miles from Marge's home to Lake Oahe and Liz's home in Bismarck. This is my campsite on Lake Oahe. I departed Liz and Frank's home near Bismarck around 9 a.m. Pulled off the lake at 3 p.m. Set up this campsite you see here. It was a really great day. That's Lake Oahe. Got myself in the tall weeds. Can't reach shore. I go all the way out into the lake. I have to paddle through them. Kind of a fix. These are the swells. Those are 1 or 2 feet, but they get bigger. Can't pull off the shore to sit it out because of the reeds. Everyone, it's still July 18th. I'm at my safety camp. Lake Oahe. It's 4 p.m. and the lake has not settled down one tiny little bit. Huge waves. I'm hoping tomorrow morning it'll be calmer and I can make my way up to Mobridge, but this does not look good. July 18th, I'm up on a bluff overlooking Lake Oahe. And the campsite I had to set up in a hurry today because the water was so rough. Can't tell how rough it is when you look at it up from this high up, but it was not safe. So that's my campsite tonight. I hope I get out tomorrow. Heading into Mobridge. Well, I finally arrived at the Beach City Marina and Resort in Mobridge, South Dakota. Been trying to get here now for 3 days. I had 1 0 day because of weather and the condition of the lake. The second day I had a half day because I had to stop after 4 hours. That was yesterday, so finally made it here. This is the Bridge City Marina and Resort. It's a really nice place. My cabin is up there, straight across this little bay. Cabin number 9. Having dinner tonight here. A pizza. We've got a nice outdoor eating area. This is my campsite after a day's paddling from Bridge City Marina and Resort. I normally do not like to camp this close to the water because the water level rises and falls depending on how they release it from the dams. But I kind of didn't have a choice because there was no place to set up a camp in these rocks in this rough terrain. It's what I've been battling almost the whole way on Lake Oahe. Constant headwinds right now, about 16 miles per hour, gusting up to 24, and 1 to 2 foot swells. It just makes the going so hard. Sunset Lodge, where I stayed last night. Had a nice dinner and a good breakfast this morning, and I'm going back down to the lake. That's the road to the lake. Campsite, after leaving Bush's Landing, made the kind of the U-turn on Lake Oahe and pulled over here around 4 o'clock to set up camp, and I noticed these clouds. So I'm glad I got everything secure, but I just got a message from Norm Miller that there's really bad weather near Mobridge and could be a tornado. Mobridge is a ways from here, but not that far. So that's a concern. Here's my situation at about 6 p.m. That's the main part of the lake, which I will be heading out into tomorrow morning. I think this storm has almost passed over me. At least that's what I'm hoping. This is the little back bay that I pulled into, fortunately. Got my tent secured pretty well down there, hopefully. Not tornado ready, but pretty secure. My chair and my canoe. This is the Oahe Dam. Boy, am I glad to be through with that lake. This is, of course, the downstream side of the dam, which is where I'll be launching day after tomorrow. View I have from my balcony at the American Hotel in South Dakota, Pierre, South Dakota. And I'll be paddling down this river, the Mighty Mo, tomorrow. After a 10-day trip home, I'm all refreshed, everything is good. I'm back on the river. Actually, it's Lake Sharp, but it's got a nice current, as you can see. And we're off. Great to be back on the water. Hope to finish in 30 days. Steve and his canoe. He's my paddle companion for a while, and that Sally out there in that rock point is going to take some photos of us. We're on Lake Sharp, an area with a lot of tree stumps that are a little above water and some underwater. I'm shooting this video from inside my tent on Lake Sharp. It's raining really hard. And also lightning and thunder. On the river, our second day, that's Steve up in front of me. We found a good campsite. We're just about ready to have our dinner when thunder and lightning and a very heavy rainstorm rolled in, and it went on for a long time. So we had to scramble into our tents and wait that out. Got up this morning, still cloudy, but we thought, let's get going. Downpour, another thunderstorm. So we're on the river now. The good news is we've got a tailwind. It looks like a little bit of a current to help us here on Lake Sharp. We'll see. Some really strong tailwinds pushing us. I'm not paddling, and you can see from the shoreline there that it's moving pretty fast, but the water is really rough. I'm almost like I'm riding the waves in. Seeing some whitecaps. This was a tough day on Lake Sharp. Woke up this morning to heavy rain. Finally got out of our camp after 10 o'clock. And the lake is like the ocean in a storm. What a difference a day makes. Today has been the perfect day on the river. We had a little bit of tailwinds, a little bit of current, but calm waters. Here comes Steve. We're stopping here for lunch. It's 12:30. Calm waters, no swells. It's been a really good day. You can see here the ideal paddling conditions on Lake Sharp. The lake is calm and still. Got a little tailwind to push me along. Not that fast, but every little bit helps. Really pretty in here this time of day. End of the day, and we're trying to find a campsite. It's now going on 5 o'clock. You can see Steve standing in his canoe searching. It just isn't much. It's all overgrown vegetation and bushes, and mud, and other places you got cliffs. It's 8:05 in the morning on August 15th on Lake Sharp. You can see the lake is completely glassy calm. Wish it would stay that way, but it doesn't. You can see the birds down there fishing. Must be a hot fishing hole. This is what it's like to paddle on a glassy, calm lake in the morning. The birds here are giving us a shout out and best wishes. We paddle up here a few miles, and there's a horseshoe bend, and back down we go. We decided rather than paddle the next 9 miles down to the dam and get there late in the afternoon, we would stop here at this campsite, get up early tomorrow, and paddle down to Big Bend Dam, which is that way. Our neighbors, morning of August 16. Here we are at Big Bend Dam, the end of Lake Sharp. Our goal was to get here before noon. We arrived at 11 a.m. Just leaving the park below Big Bend Dam. That's the dam right there. On the other side of the dam is Lake Sharp, which we finished yesterday, and we're now on Francis Case Lake. We're at the Elm Creek campsite. It was a fantastic day on Francis Case Lake. We gained 30 miles, which is really great for a lake. The last 5 miles or so, we had really strong tailwinds, which created 2 to 3 foot swells or waves. And I literally rode those waves. surf those ways a good part of the way without having to paddle. Hello everybody, it's Bill Burke. I'm at Dock 44 Marina with Cheryl and Roger, who brought my boat and me down here to relaunch. Super bittersweet feeling, because when I pulled in here with Steve on August 20, little did I know the torture was beginning for me, because I got a call. The tropical storm Hillary tore through the Coachella Valley in Palm Springs, Palm Desert, and flooded my condominium. So August 23, I had to get out of here fast. Roger was nice enough to drive me to the airport at Sioux Falls, 120 miles each way. I flew home, and I've been dealing with the damage now for 2 straight months. I finally got it to the point where I feel comfortable coming back on the river to finish. So here I am, like I said, bittersweet. That's the cabin I stayed at, and that's the lodge, which is closed today, where I got that fateful call about our condo. It's cold, it's about 45 degrees. It's been raining a little bit today. There's snow expected in a couple of days. So I don't know how far I'm going to get today. It's about 2 o'clock. It gets dark here at 6:30, so not sure. I won't be paddling that much today, but hopefully I'll get some sun tomorrow and I can get out of here fast enough to miss the snow that's coming on Saturday and Sunday. This is my first campsite on Francis Case Lake, October 24, first since I got back from California. Got a really nice little sandy area here. The water is really low on the lake. There's my beautiful canoe. Off the Missouri River into this bay. This is the North Wheeler Recreation Area. It's very nice in here. You can see the water is really still. Beautiful fall colors in the trees. There's a, straight up that way, there's a vault toilet in a green area. I'd love to stay there, but the water on this lake is so low, it would be a long distance to schlep all my gear. And that might be an eagle there, I'm not sure. It looks like an eagle. But it'd be a long ways to schlep all my gear from the water line there up to that green area, and it looks like a lot of mud in there, so I'll probably have to find another spot, but they've got a lot of good campsites here, and I'll find a good spot here pretty soon and set up my camp. And it's been a good day, praise God. About an hour ago I left North Wheeler Camp, and I'm back on the water headed for the dam. I hope I make it there. I think it's about 10-15 miles. A tough night last night, because as soon as I got to the place I wanted to camp, it started to rain before I could get my tent up, and a lot of my gear got wet, including clothes. But fortunately I had some good warm clothes to sleep in, and it was cold, really cold this morning. Got back on the water here, and now it's a matter of making it to either the next campsite or the dam. I got a tailwind, which is nice, helping me a little bit, but it's cold. And I think they're predicting snow either tomorrow or the next day. Some really rough seas here now. It's gotten worse. So I'm gonna pull into this bay. Oh, there's a fishing boat over here. I'm gonna pull in this bay and take stock of where I am and what I should do next. It's just too gnarly out there to be paddling. Quite a day. I started from the North Wheeler Recreation Area, headed towards the dam, Fort Randall Dam, and it was like being on the ocean in a major storm. Very large waves pushing me towards the rocks. It is so cold. And they're talking about snow flurries tonight and even a worse day tomorrow. So here I am, give you an idea how desperate I am. This is what they call a vault toilet, and I sought shelter in there from the cold and the wind. You can see my chair and some of my bags. Toilets over there, and I even cooked a dinner. I hadn't eaten in a couple of days, so I cooked a dinner right inside that vault toilet, and that tasted good. Fasten your seatbelt, it's going to be a wild ride, I can tell you that. Well, here's an update, ladies and gentlemen, on my saga here at Pease Creek boat ramp. I got a text from Cheryl telling me that tomorrow is going to be a brutally ugly day on Lake Francis Case with high winds, huge waves, and it's going to hang in there for a couple of days. She just wanted to warn me of that. So about an hour later, as I was sitting here at my campsite shivering in the cold, a couple of fishermen drove up in a car and asked me about my canoe, and I told them what I was doing, and they said, you need to get out of here some other way, because tonight and tomorrow are going to be really bad days on the lake. The temps are going to get down to as low as 20, and tomorrow the waves are going to be giant from the high winds that are expected on the lake. Nobody should be on that lake in those kind of conditions. So that did it for me, and I called Bob Foley. He's coming to pick me up. You can see my gear all piled up there. He's picking me up here. It's sprinkling already, and he's going to take me down to the dam. It's only 10 miles to Fort Randall Dam, and he's got some people there that are willing to take me in so I can get a shower and wash and dry my clothes, and I'll probably spend a couple of days with them because it's supposed to snow tomorrow. It may snow tonight. It feels like snow. It's already drizzling. So I'll stay with them as long as I need to, and then portage down to the other side of the dam and continue my journey. At this point, I don't plan to give it up. I'm going to continue as long as it takes to finish this. This is a fantastic view of Fort Randall Dam. On the other side of that dam is Francis Case Lake. And then this is where it turns back into a river. But look at how beautiful that is. Blowing really hard. You can see the white caps here on the river. The snow that was forecast. So glad I'm not on the river. I just launched from the boat ramp at Pickstown, South Dakota. I think it's going to be a good day. It's very cold. Just leaving Blue Moon Resort. It's not a resort, trust me. Oh, there's the resort. But I had a cabin last night. I really needed it. And a kind person saw me in my tent and offered to take me to a cabin, so I had a good night's sleep in a warm room. I'm just leaving this morning at 11 a.m. This is my latest start. Right along the shore here, moving really fast without paddling, and then out in the middle of the river there's whitecaps to give you an idea how hard it's blowing. And very fortunately, it's tailwinds. Good morning, everyone. Happy Halloween. It's October 31. I just left Springfield at the boat ramp. Bob helped me get my canoe there from the motel I stayed in last night, and we launched, and it's a beautiful day. Sun's up. It's very cold, but I feel really good. I'm bundled up in warm clothes, and headed now for Yankton to the dam. The dam is about 20 miles from where I am right now. Lewis and Clark Lake, headed for the dam at Yankton. And these are some really beautiful rock formations. I'm at the dam on Lewis and Clark Lake. The water is so calm and still here. The whole time coming down it was waves and wind. It's a beautiful park here. This is Yankton. So pretty in here. And this, if you look up that way, that's Bob Foley, my river angel, with his truck and trailer. So I've launched on the other side of the dam at Yankton, and I'm now on the river. And this is a huge accomplishment because now I'm finished with the reservoirs and dams. No more dams, no more reservoirs. It's straight river from here to St. Louis. And that's great because now I have a current and just hope for tailwinds. But the hardest part of the Missouri River is behind me now. All river from here on. Praise God. There's Dennis, and his house is the greenhouse up on the hill with the white railing. That's his dock. And the bridge. Still heading down the Missouri River from Yankton, headed for Clay County Park. That was a good day. Got a little bit of headwind and crosswind. On my way to Ponca State Park. Got a really good current going here. There's a nice row of houses along the shore. It's been an absolutely fabulous day. I arrived at Ponca State Park at 2 o'clock. I made such good time since my departure this morning on this river that I've decided to, since it's only 2 o'clock, and the conditions are perfect with placid water and a nice strong current, I decided I'm just going to keep paddling down closer to Sioux City, so the journey tomorrow will be shorter. But these conditions are just perfect. The day has been great. The sun is out, not cold at all, and I'll camp out somewhere. And I don't think it's going to be that cold tonight and tomorrow. We'll see. But what a fabulous day. This is really exciting. Look at the mile marker, 750. That's the first one I've seen on the Missouri. That means I have 750 miles to go to get to St. Louis, where the Missouri merges with the Mississippi. Approaching Sioux City, Iowa, and for the very first time on this trip, I feel like I'm entering more busy areas, cities and industrial areas. It just feels very different from upriver, much busier. And so it's going to be different, I think, from here on down. Not good, ladies and gentlemen. A little wave action. White caps. I'm staying close to shore. It looks like going backwards. That's Sioux City. Really tough paddling. And the white caps out there. The winds are sustained 14, gusting to 25, and just got to be too much. I couldn't make any progress. Finally, I had a wave wash up over the bow of my boat, up the spray skirt almost into my lap, and I thought, that's it. This is where I'm stopping, and it pushed me into this bay. The wind did. Here's my canoe, but it pushed me into this bay where there's no wind. I had a bit of misfortune pulling around that curve. You see that bend up there. The wire that leads from the foot pedal to my rudder broke, so I had no rudder. Fortunately, it happened there where I could get to safety quickly. Otherwise, I would have been in real trouble if I was out in the middle of the river with no way to turn my boat. It's parked here. I did a little patch job, which I hope works tomorrow. A whole different feel on the lower Missouri. But it's all beautiful. Starting to see a lot of wing dams, like that one. And they build those dams with rocks. They're also called rock dams or rock dikes, perpendicular to the shore. And what they do is they force the water out into the middle of the river, the channel, where it runs faster, and that helps the barges and boats that navigate in this area on the lower Missouri. They have thousands of them, and they're also everywhere on the Mississippi. It can be dangerous to paddlers because if the rocks are submerged, as they often are, you don't see them and you go over a wing dam and you strike a rock that you can't see or that you can see, it can throw you out of the boat or even damage the boat. And that happened to me on the Mississippi. I went over a wing dam and struck a rock, and it tipped my boat and literally threw me out of the canoe. And I was hanging onto the boat and my paddle for my dear life, floating down the Mississippi, not knowing what to do. Finally got over to shore and everything worked out all right, but you got to be careful. November 7th, yesterday I pulled into a bay to a place called Poppin' Docks Marina. It's it right there. It's closed for the season. This was my campsite at the marina overlooking the river. I'm packing up right now to get moving again. Water's 48 degrees. It's a bad day on the water, getting worse. I'm gonna have to pull out pretty quick. I'm at the Pelican Point State Park in Nebraska. I departed Poppin' Docks Marina upstream at about 9:30 a.m. this morning with a rudder that's barely functional, and was greeted with significant headwinds, 7 miles per hour steady, gusting up to 16 miles per hour, and cloud cover that looked like rain. So I muscled my way as far as I could downstream until I reached an inlet that you see here at the Pelican Hill State Park. After 20 miles, I was hoping to get 30 miles, but I got 20 miles and I decided it was time to call it quits. It's November 8th. I woke up to a beautiful day at Pelican Point where I was camped out. Got moving on the river about 9 o'clock, quarter to 9, and it's just perfect conditions. The river, as you can see, is glassy. There's no clouds in the sky, the sun's out. I've layered down and almost got hot, so I layered down. I've got a current that's really helping me, and winds are from the north, which are tailwinds, so couldn't ask for a better day than this. It's been a really rough day, strong headwinds all the way, and I don't have a rudder that works, but there's Omaha, Nebraska. I'm almost to my destination for the day. Swing bridge. There's the Ameristar Hotel. That's where I'm staying tonight in Iowa. These wonderful people are hauled my canoe up from where it was docked right down there, and they're taking it to Drew's truck. Boy, am I happy that they were here. Otherwise, we would have had to drag it up there from shore. Left Omaha, Nebraska this morning at around 8:47, bound for Nebraska City, which is about 50 miles downriver. And I got over halfway. I'm guessing I got 25 to 30 miles today, but it was tough going, very tough going. Thick cloud cover, no sun, cold, and most importantly, heavy winds, all headwinds. So I'm heading south and the winds are coming from the south, and that really slowed me down. So it was a tough day, but I pulled out here, set up camp, Tomorrow I should make it to Nebraska City. Hard day, but a fun day. I want to wish Happy Veterans Day to all of our servicemen and servicewomen. I love you guys. You're my heroes. God bless you, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you for your service. Everyone, I thought you might like a tour of my home away from home. This is it. One big room. Nice big roomy tent. It's good for 2 persons. This orange bag you see there is my clothes, so I pull that in every night. The yellow bag has my electrical equipment, charging and whatnot. And then I have this blue air mattress, which has served me really well. I have this sleeping bag here. It's a light sleeping bag. And then I crawl into that at night. And after I'm in the gray sleeping bag, I crawl into the orange, heavier sleeping bag right there. So I've got a sleeping bag in a sleeping bag. That's how I cope with the cold. Up here is my blanket. I throw that over the sleeping bag if I'm cold, or I use it as kind of a pillow. Here's my real pillow here. This is my Ollie Power cap. Which I put on at night to keep warm. What else do I have here? Gloves. Pee bottle. So I don't have to get out of the tent at night to pee. Towel to dry my feet or my hands or whatever. Extra pair of socks. I have a heavy pair of socks that I wear in the bag, but this is extra. Overnight kit, toothpaste, shaving cream, toothbrush, whatever I need, that's there. And these are just utility bags. This orange one has, right there, has my extra batteries to charge my iPhone. And this is kind of my trash bag that has miscellaneous stuff. Important though, one of which is my wallet. Anyway, that's how I figured out to deal with cold weather at my home away from home. November 12th. I'm on my way to Nebraska City to meet Pam Mabey and her family. Pam has been a big help to me on my journey. Fall colors are really pretty here along the river. This is kind of fun, drifting sideways with the current. Arrived at Pam Mabey's house. Got a nice greeting party there for me. It's been a really, really good day. Nebraska City, Nebraska, at the home of Pam and Jody Mabey. Wonderful, wonderful river angels. Look at this beautiful little cabin, they call it, that they have right on the river. Got a hammock here. There's the cabin that they built. They don't have water yet, but it was a really comfortable place for me to spend the night last night. They live about 8 blocks up in Nebraska City. This is kind of their getaway, but it's really, really nice. First good look at a towboat pushing barges down the Missouri River. I'm standing in Pam and Jody's backyard. That's the first. Hey everyone, it's November 14th at 4 p.m. I departed from the dock at Pam and Jody's house at about 8:45 a.m. this morning. The weather forecast was for a sunny, warm day, which it was, but the bad news is it called for high winds with gusts up to 35 miles per hour. And the weather lived up to the forecast. The last 2 hours of my paddle were brutal. I just had to power through the large waves and the whitecaps. I kind of hugged the shore to stay safe and pulled out at about 2:30 p.m. Had a nice noodle chili dinner, and I think I made good distance. I'm not sure exactly how many miles. I think it was at least 25, maybe 30, I don't know, 25 at least. So I had a good day despite the winds. Beautiful sunset at my campsite. Good day tomorrow. God is good. Hello everyone, it's November 15th. I had a good day on the water today. I left my last camp at about 8:45. The skies were clear, the sun was out, there were very little clouds, no headwinds or tailwinds. It was just a good day paddling. I paddled from about 8:45 to 3 o'clock and set up camp right here. I know you're going to look at this and say it's too close to the water. If they raise the water level upstream, I could be sleeping underwater, but I'm not worried about it. I'll keep an eye on it. But it was a really good day. I ran into another paddler today, which is a very unusual thing at this time of the year. He was a day paddler. I sent you a video. You could see his bike on his canoe. He paddles down a couple of days and then bikes back to his car and then drives his car down to pick up the canoe. So it was nice talking to him. Sun's about to set here. I got to fix dinner here pretty quick. I figured out I made 27 miles yesterday and about 29 miles today. It's hard to make much more than that, given the fact that days are really short. It gets dark at 5 o'clock and I won't paddle in the dark. But good day. Hopefully tomorrow will be an even better day. November 16th, I got on the water at 8 a.m. from my campsite and was greeted with headwinds at 8. It's now about 9:30 and strong headwinds and whitecaps. It's going to be a really tough day. You can see my boat is turning from the headwinds. This is my stopping point for today, November 16. My canoe is down there at the bottom of the ramp, secured. And I'm staying in a park called White Cloud, or in a city called White Cloud, at a park called the Lewis and Clark Park. It's in Kansas, so at some point today I left Nebraska. Thank you, Nebraska, you were good to me, and entered Kansas. This is White Cloud, Kansas. I'm in White Cloud, Kansas. This is downtown. So far I haven't seen sign of any life here. Everything looks closed up. There's a dog barking. November 17. I'm headed down from White Cloud to St. Joseph. I don't think I'm going to make it that far today, but while I'm sitting here going backwards with the current, I thought I would pass along a little drama from last night. So I went to bed. It must have been six o'clock, something like that. Well dark by then. And when I set up this tent, I set up anchor lines on the south side of the tent since the wind was blowing from the south. But I didn't set them up on the north side because the wind was blowing from the south, and usually by morning the winds are gone. They die down a lot at night. Well, that didn't happen last night. What happened instead was the south winds, which were blowing pretty hard even at night, flipped to north winds. So now they were headed at my tent's north side, where I didn't have the guy lines, the anchor lines. And it blew like crazy. It intensified, and eventually the tent collapsed on me. So now what do? I got out of the tent, managed to get out. It was lying on top of me. I was inside it. And there's no way I could try to reset the tent in the dark. So I put a couple of bags on it so it wouldn't blow away, and I grabbed my sleeping bag and I trudged up into that little town and found a spot that wasn't windy behind a house to sleep for the night and try to deal with the problem today. And it was a miserable night, really cold. I didn't sleep very well. About 5:30 a.m., two tired old men pulled into the grain elevator office, and I spotted them. So I walked over to the office and asked if I could sit with them to get warm, and they said sure. So there we were, three old men, tired old men, especially me. We sat in those chairs sleeping for about an hour and a half. At about 7 o'clock, it was light, and I was able to go over and assess the damage, and I got everything put away, got launched. It's been a great day on the river. It's the lake, or the water has been glassy calm like this, and I've made really good distance, a good current. I just hope I have a tent tonight. I checked the tents and the poles didn't break, but they bent. So when I get to my next campsite, I'm gonna have to figure out if I can unbend them so I have a tent to sleep in tonight. It's November 17th, about 5 p.m. I stopped at this point here. It's called Don's Point, private property. The owner, Debbie, was nice enough to give me permission to spend the night here. So this is where I stopped. I had a really good mileage day today. I have to figure it out tomorrow, but over 30 miles. Swift current and no headwinds, no winds at all. It was really a great day. This is my campsite. My tent is dust. The poles are bent from the wind last night, and they can't be fixed. So the tent's useless. Trash. And I'm going to cowboy camp tonight. I'll be fine. I've got warm clothes. Clothes that were wet yesterday from the slide into the river are pretty much dry. This is Don's Point, private property. It's all hunters, and just right there, maybe 50 feet up there, is a railroad track. So the train goes by every day, several times right in front of these campers. Right by my campsite. Hello everyone, it's November 18th. I'm at the French Bottom boat ramp. I'm in Missouri now. I left Iowa, and I'm now in Missouri. So Missouri is on this side. On the other side of the river is Kansas. And Emma's down there with my boat. Her husband, Derek, and puppy Molly are coming with a trailer to pick up my canoe because I'm going to stop at St. Joseph. I need to get some supplies, namely a tent. I want to wash my clothes, dry them, get them clean, and charge my batteries. So they're going to put me up at their place tonight in St. Joseph. I'm arriving at Atchison from St. Joseph, and it's been a hard, long, rainy day. It's still raining, but this is where I'm going to camp. I'm in Atchison, Kansas, having paddled here today from St. Joseph, Missouri. It was a long, hard day and heavy rain. It's still raining as I'm filming this. But I pulled off into Atchison here on the boat ramp, and I had to take shelter because it rained hard all day. Pounded me with rain. And a city worker here, when I got to Atchison, said I can't camp out in the park here. So when he left, I checked out the bathroom facility here. There it is right there. And when I went inside, to my pleasant surprise, the bathrooms are heated and lit. They're action activated lit. So it lights up when you move. And you can see I've got all my gear hanging out here in this bathroom to dry out. Super warm in here. And when it gets a little later, and I hope nobody's going to want to enter here, I'll blow up my air mattress and take out my sleeping bag and sleep here in the warm in this vault bathroom. It's November 21st. I left Atchison this morning at 9 a.m. It's now 11 a.m. I'm bound for Leavenworth. And this is one of the best paddling days of the trip because I've got a strong current and a nice tailwind from the winds that are coming from the north, pushing me south. So this has been a really good day. The sun's out. It was cloudy this morning and I was worried about more rain, but blue skies now, and looks like it's going to be a nice day. There is Kansas City, Missouri. Today has been as good as it gets on the Missouri River. It's just been a wonderful day. It's 10:47 a.m. in the morning on Thanksgiving Day. And Jaybird is his nickname. His name is Jay, but his nickname is Jaybird, so I'll call him Jaybird. But Jaybird is joining me, which is a real treat for me for this segment of the trip. We're going to paddle down a ways, maybe 20 miles, and then return to his house. on Thanksgiving Day for dinner. Right now we're at the confluence of the Kansas River and the Missouri River. It's called Cause Point, and that's Kansas City straight ahead of us. It's going to be a good day. Sun's out, not a cloud in the sky. It's warm. We got current going for us, so I think it's going to be a great day, and it's fun to be paddling with a friend. We're going under the bridges here at Kansas City. Coming up on the bridge, which is our takeout point for the day. It's been a good day, but a tough day. We had a lot of winds, including now, and large waves and headwinds, but it's been a good day, a fun day. Yesterday, November 24, I paddled from La Bonite, Missouri to Napoleon, Missouri, about 22 miles. I started paddling at 29 degrees and it never got warmer, really. I tent camped at Napoleon in a park. It was extremely cold, and I'm leaving Napoleon now, bound for Lexington it's at 9:30 in the morning. It'll take me about 2 hours to get there. In Lexington, Missouri, at the location of the Battle of Lexington that took place during the Civil War. That's the tomb of the unknown soldier out there for this facility. You see the cannon there. And this was the battlefield for the Battle of Lexington, a 3-day battle during the Civil War. Just beyond that crest is the Missouri River. The courthouse at Lexington, Missouri. And if you look at the flagpole, right behind the flagpole, that first column, you can see the spot where a cannonball lodged into that column during the Civil War. It was fired by the Union Army and was intended for another building, but it struck the courthouse. Up on Waverly, Missouri, which is my next stop. Straight ahead there is the bridge at Miami, which is where I'm going to stop. Been a really good day. Sun's been out all day. I've kept warm. Had a nice current and almost no wind.
And there is Bill. He's coming down to Missouri. It is November 28th, and we're happy to see Bill. Wow, he's moving right along there with the current. All right.
It's November 29. I just departed Miami at 8:30, and I'm headed now for Glasgow, which is 37 miles downriver. Be my longest distance day of the trip, so it's going to be a long day. And it's just beautiful, spectacular blue sky, sun's out, placid river, at least here. So I hope it's going to be a good paddle day. I think it will be. Had a great time last night. Kevin Lee, a dear friend from California, was in St. Louis, so he came to see me here at the camp at Miami. And St. Louis Bill, who I paddled with upriver, came down, set up this huge hunting tent with a wood-burning stove that made it warm and comfy inside. And boy, that just made sleeping last night so good and so easy. Kevin and St. Louis Bill and I had a nice dinner last night in Marshall, and here I am back on the water. There's snow expected on Friday, Thursday night Friday, so I got a plan for that. But St. Louis Bill is going to break down that Huntington and bring it down to Glasgow. November 29, it's been a good day of paddling. Came from that direction down river, and there's very little, almost no wind and good current. Arrived at Glasgow, Missouri. It was a great day, perfect paddling conditions, sun's out, warm as can be. And I made 37 miles today. Departed Miami at 8:30 and arrived here at 3:15, so it was a great day paddling. This looks like a cool little city built on a hill. Really nice campground at Glasgow, Missouri. This is the river over there, and there's my canoe on St. Louis Bill's truck. And here's our tent. November 30, about 10:30 a.m. I departed from the Glasgow boat ramp at 9, and basically I'm trying to outrun the rain. There's a 90-some% chance of rain. You can see the clouds. And my destination today is Boonville. I have a reservation at a casino hotel there. So I'm hoping I can get, I figure I'll be there about 3:15. So I hope I can get there before the rain starts falling. We'll see. Left Boonville this morning about 8:45 a.m. I'm headed for Cooper's Landing. It's kind of a gloomy day. It rained hard last night, and it's misting here. I've got about, distance is about 25 miles to Cooper's Landing, and I've got Steve Schnarr meeting me there. A lot of work going on this bridge. There's the bridge at Jefferson City. To the right of the bridge, you see the Capitol Dome. Jefferson City is the capital of Missouri. Had a really good day on the water today from Cooper's Landing. I made it here in 5.5 hours. It's really cold. It's been very cold, but glad to be here. I'm going to be pulling out at that boat ramp on the left, right before the bridge. Andy Besselman's going to meet me here and take me to a motel. No sign of stopping. I brought some corn from my bed.
They got our picture. I guarantee they were.
It's morning on the Missouri River. I'm just leaving Jefferson City. Had a good stay there. Headed for Chamois. And sun's out. There's clouds, but it's not nearly as cold as the last 3 days. Take me about 6 hours to get to Chamois, which is 27 miles downriver. It's a really beautiful section of the Missouri River downstream from Jefferson City. Just pretty. The water's glassy, sun's out. I'm nice and warm and headed to Chamois. But this is a nice current. Look at the current. Really nice day. Looks like they're building a rock dike or wing dam over here. Pulling rocks out of that barge and building the dam. I arrived in Chamois today around 2 o'clock from Jefferson City, and at the boat ramp I was greeted by Kelly and Kenny Johns, and they took me to their home, this beautiful home you see here, to stay tonight. They have, I don't know how many acres, a lot of acres of land. That's their main home. And up this way is a barn, and in front of the barn where it says WJ Farms is a man cave for Kenny. And this is the rest of their property. It's just beautiful here. I'm coming up at the bridge at Herman, which is my next stop. Gary's gonna pick me up at a boat ramp there. And I believe up that hill is called Spirit Hill, and his house is up there somewhere. A red house. He said when I go by I can see him waving at me. So I'm gonna look for that. But almost there. Edging the river here, the channel. Gary and Marcia's home in Herman, Missouri. It's a German-founded town. They have a beautiful home up on the hill. They call their home Spirit Hill. And it overlooks the Missouri River. I paddled right past their home down there and waved up here to Gary and Marcia. Gary picked me up at the boat dock in Herman and brought me to their home. Next to their home is a cemetery there. And we're going to be visiting a winery. And they're going to show me the sights of the city. This is a very special, wonderful little town. And I feel blessed to be here. I'm on my way to New Haven. These bluffs here are really beautiful. It's just too bad the day is kind of misty and obscures some of the beauty. We're on the river at New Haven, headed for Klondike. Beautiful day. Up on Klondike, which is the end of the day for us. Good day of paddling. Good morning, everyone. It's December 8th at 9:44 a.m. I'm at Klondike, And I'm headed now down to St. Charles, about 28 miles downriver, I think. Spend the night there, and tomorrow's Saturday. And then from St. Charles, I'll paddle on down to the confluence and the end of my journey. That, I believe, is the boathouse where I'm going to store my canoe tonight. This is historic Main Street in St. Charles, Missouri. This time of year they have a celebration called Christmas Traditions with parades and caroling and everything Christmas. I've been excited to get here, experience this. It's been a really fun walk down historic Main Street in St. Charles. Everybody's out for the weekend. It's Saturday and a lot of families here to enjoy the celebration. It's beautiful retail buildings here, restaurants, shops.
Now the children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter.
And heaven and nature sing, nature sing, nature sing, heaven and nature sing.
It's Sunday morning and I'm leaving St. Charles. Just pushed off at 9:15 and headed downriver to the confluence of the Mississippi and the Missouri. It was a great stay in St. Charles. I really enjoyed it. As you can see there, I have 15 miles to the confluence. It's about 3 hours. Coming up on the confluence of the Mississippi River and the Missouri River. I'm about to get on the Mississippi River. This is just about mile 0. And I'll be on the mighty Mississippi off the Missouri. How exciting. There's the Mississippi River. I'm just joining it. from the Missouri River. I'm on the Mississippi River at the Chain of Rocks, just past this bridge up here. Bill and Steve are gonna meet me and we're gonna portage around the Chain of Rocks tonight or tomorrow. That's the Chain of Rocks Bridge, which is no longer functional. And that's the famous Chain of Rocks on the Mississippi River. Don't want to be paddling or taking a boat or a canoe or anything over the Chain of Rocks. That direction is St. Louis and the Arch, which is where I'm headed today. My canoe is down on the beach there. Really rough water this last part, the start of this day and now the end is super rough water. But almost there. There's the arch right there. Well, I'm on the last 100 yards of my paddle, and then it's over. I'm at the Arch in St. Louis. Got a group of people up here who are going to help me take my canoe out, but at that point the journey is over. Here's the Arch at St. Louis, the gateway to the west, and the end of my journey on the Missouri River and the Mississippi. Hallelujah, praise God.